Michigan State star, that will be Draymond Green, tweeting this: typical Michigan State exchange, move on, relax. Stephen A?
Yeah.
Do you have a problem with the incident between Izzo and Brown?
Hell no. At all. Not at all. And not only that, let me say this. I completely agree with my brother Draymond Green. Now, I will confess, Draymond Green is not the one to be using the word relax, okay? I will say that. When you think relax and Draymond Green, if ever there was an oxymoron, I don't know if anything would exemplify that more than Draymond Green saying to relax.
It's like when Stephen A says, you're being very emotional.
You're very emotional right now. Come on now. Draymond is not the one to say that, to use the word relax, but he knows I'm just playing around with him. That's my brother right there. I will say this in all seriousness. We're talking about Tom Izzo. And we're talking about a man that's won 71% of his games. I think his record is 643 and 251 in all of his years as Michigan State, dating back to the year 1995-96. This is Tom Izzo, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that you get to act any old way you want to. Bobby Knight was the great Bobby Knight, but we saw how he had conducted himself, which was unfortunate at times because he was a bit too excessive and too emotional. If that's what we're going to call too excessive and too emotional, we got a damn problem. There's something wrong with the world that we're living in, okay? The player is walking away from the coach. The coach grabs him. Come back here. Don't walk away from me. I'm talking to you. You understand? What's the big deal? He didn't hit him. He didn't slap him. It wasn't no fisticuffs or anything like that. And the player was yelling back at the coach. Guess why? Because that's the kind of relationship Tom Izzo has with his players. That's what you expect from his program. Hold on, Max. And here's the bigger point that I want to make here. Ladies and gentlemen, people talk about how parents are watching and kids are watching. Then don't go to Michigan State. But if you're going to go to Michigan State, that's what you're going to get. I played for a coach in Clarence Big House games that once slapped one of my teammates. I won't put him out on national television, but literally slapped him upside his head because he tried to run on the court and fight somebody. And slapped him upside his head, okay? I covered John Chaney. You think John Chaney, the great John Chaney who just passed away, God rest that wonderful man. So you think he never got in somebody's face? John Thompson. We idolized him. What do you think he did? Excuse me? Everybody can't be Dean Smith or more mild-mannered, or everybody just pump their fist the way Roy Williams does. Coaches get in your face, and sometimes they'll grab you to get your attention, okay? What is the big deal? We got to be careful because we are building a very, very, very soft culture. Soft as cottonelle tissue, even worse. My God, deal with it. This is nothing. It is a laughable subject to even be tackling. I don't blame Tom Izzo for starting off by sitting there saying, really, and the media does have a right to ask what they want to ask. But this is much ado about nothing. And any parent or any kid that doesn't want to go to that program because they see something like that, you're probably too soft to play for Tom Izzo anyway, if that's how you feel. Just ridiculous. Go ahead, Max.
Well, first, I was just going to add to what you were saying. I know you were on a roll there, but player slaps the coach's hands away.
Yeah.
If the player slaps the coach's hand away, he feels perfectly comfortable physically.
Yeah.
He's not feeling intimidated. He's like, get off me. It's not like, and you bring up Bobby Knight.
The player yelled at him, he came back at him first verbally.
Right.
Then Tom
so in other words, it's not
him.
like the player was intimidated. And I understand the point that people may make about, well, it's an issue of authority. An authority figure, someone may feel that it's not a level playing field and all this. Bobby Knight was a big, strong guy who would clearly sometimes intimidate student athletes. That was obvious. You could see it, right?
It was excessive.
Great coach, but that's part of what. That's not Tom Izzo. That's not what he was doing. He wasn't. The player didn't seem to me to feel intimidated or threatened in that kind of way. Didn't want his hands on him, but he knocked it away. Every generation, to your point, Stephen A., though, thinks the world's gone soft. Every generation, you talk to your parents and the kids today, everybody's gone soft. But my point is, we have made
Max.
Right, but the point is, we have made a lot of social progress, and every generation complains about how soft things are getting, but in fact, things are, by and large, getting better. I'll say this. One of the issues we deal with today with this stuff is Izzo was right. The media has to make a big deal about everything. There's more media now. So we're looking for more grist for the mill. We need to feed it. We need the clickbait. We need ratings. We need people watching. And so because of the omnipresent kind of cameras everywhere and everyone's appetite for it, as many media distribution outlets as they are, we're looking for content. So we frequently do make something out of nothing. And this, to me, looked like nothing.
Listen, it definitely was pretty much close to nothing. If you want to dissect and analyze the situation, the player is yelling back at Tom Izzo before he walked away. And Tom Izzo grabbed him like, I ain't finished with you yet. You understand? And I'm still talking to you. So we understand it from that perspective. But it does get to be a bigger issue. Yes, Max, there have been vast improvements in our society. Nobody's disputing that. But that doesn't mean everything is perfect. It doesn't mean everything about this new age, this quote-unquote woke age is right. There are things that are a bit excessive. We have come incredibly soft, mentally, emotionally, as much as anything. When you bring up Bobby Knight, that's a different animal. He's headbutted a player in the past. I mean, he's had a reputation throwing chairs on the court at referees and stuff like that. That's excessive. You're talking about a coach confronting a player that missed an assignment, okay? And listen, that's close to nothing. And so for Tom Izzo to have to answer a question about that, it's not the reporter's fault by any stretch. I'm not saying that.
I thought he answered it well.
And he did answer it well. I'm saying for him to address it, it's because in today's day and age, you got people that just feel that that's just wrong. Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith last night disagreed. Now, Kenny Smith, my brother from Queens. I respectfully disagree with Kenny Smith.
Well,
now, he played for a different kind of coach. He played for Dean Smith. But if he played for John Thompson, if he played for John Chaney, if he played for Nolan Richardson, if he played for Izzo and a few others, he might have felt a bit differently.
And you and Molly and whomever else can, and maybe me, we can all think the world's going soft. I just would like to point out, every generation says that about the previous generation.
And I would like to point out something that you said.
The next generation.
And I would like to point out something that you said. You said it in the past. Sometimes when it comes to these professional athletes today, you've talked about how overly sensitive they are.
I agree.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.